I used to be CEO and VPs of about 5 or 6 different startups 15, 20, 25 years ago. As you can tell, I have gray hair. Most probably the first ingredient is to have the confidence of your CEO or your senior vice president if they are, because we have a team of 4 or 5 different senior VPs and 1 CEO that gives the confidence. You're giving me the leeway in order to have the mandate to make things happen. That's certainly one of the first ingredients. The second ingredient is to be the CDO this time needs to be somebody who understands quite well technology, who understands business issues, who understands marketing, who understands communication, because it's a gathering of a different expertise that make a CDO being able to discuss with these different people to understand their goal, their needs, their business requirement, and tell them that digital will give them some good results, so they're confident into what you're presenting to us. You can convince them because you know that you understand them, and so if they know that you understand what they need, that is most probably one of the second ingredient that is very important. I would say that the third best ingredient is to have a very efficient team around you, the people that thinks like you and wants to push as much as you want. If you have a team that is not attached to your vision and doesn't go into the same direction with the pace of the changes that needs to happen into the business, you will lose momentum and it won't work. Well, I'm going to give you a very, very interesting example. 2 or 3 years ago, we've done a crowdsourcing contest in Berlin, in which we asked the people, should it be engineers, artists, users, to give us the idea, sketch them, send pictures, some videos, anything that you would like to transform their preferred experience into a subway or into a train. We received, I think it was more than 200 different sketches coming from different people, so they gave us some ideas of how they would like to experience their venue into a train, and it was very interesting. So how they would sit, how they would stand, how they would look in through the window, what colors should be used, what is the texture of the train, is it plastic, is it metal, is it slippery on the soil, and such things like that. So it's very important for us that we've gathered those opinions, because then after that you can bring that to product development and tell the people, well, this is how the customer embodies their experience into a train, so why don't we get some influence from those guys and build the train, the ideal train that they would like to see in their city. They were 5 or 6 of them were integrated into new device and new technology and new trains. Most probably that we will achieve the video conferencing for recruiting into our HRIS system. More and more young people wants to talk to individual on the phone, on Skype, because they do. 30% of our new hires are done from mobile device. I would say change management. One of the first things I've done when I came at Bombardier was to install the first prototype of the HRIS system, and to my knowledge it was an easy piece because it wasn't that type of complicated system, but I didn't know how this company was reluctant to change. because it wasn't in the culture to get those type of changes into the entire business. So I made a mistake of misevaluating the leverage of change management that needed to be done in order that that tool would be accepted by the entire enterprise. So that was probably one of my toughest failures. That I would crush as well, most probably because we're still a little bit too much attached to our IT reality. It does change, it changed lately, but I guess we need to go into a much faster pace, because things are moving a lot faster. So we still have a lot of work to do in that direction. We are in the good direction, I think, but we need some improvement. Well, normally I do have a project manager in charge of one specific project. We hire one of different agencies depending on the problem. We know exactly with whom we want to work with. We create a war room. Sometimes it's at Bombardier, sometimes it's in the agency. We know what we want to gain as for a result, and they need to work 5, 6, 7 days in order to get the results done. Till they don't find the results, they're still in the war room, and we want to get the results of the problem. Most of the time it is, I would say 80% of the time it is successful. Actually I do. Before I was Chief Web Officer 25 years ago, I was an editorial director into traditional media. So I'm pretty good in telling story and writing stories. And actually my superiors are not used to that. And once a month, once in a while, I'm writing story about the business, about where I am, where I want to go, and tell the people how I'm managing stuff, and they love it actually, because it's not like a report, a fade report or something that is very drab, or a PowerPoint presentation. I never do PowerPoint presentation. I tell stories, and they love it actually, because I give all the information I can give, but I tell it sometime with humor, sometime with emergency, sometime with demands, sometime with good results and stuff like that, and they actually love it. I call it rapport du front, like we did in war, and they like it, and they know exactly what's going on. They don't need any PowerPoint. A lot of my bosses are traveling all across the planet, so sometimes it's pretty tough to have a one-to-one meeting. We meet once in a while, but not enough. So reading those stuff, and sometimes they laugh at each other when they read it, because they like it, and the message goes on.